I start by telling you that I welcome the opportunity to discuss this very important matter, being already fully aware of your expectations. In October, I discussed this with the members of the LIBE Committee. You remember that, Mr. Moraes. It should be clear that we all share the same objective. Full visa reciprocity is a central principle of our visa policy framework. With the United States and Canada, it is a challenging and sensitive issue, and we all hope for tangible progress. Before responding to the questions, let me start with the good news concerning Canada. As I told you in the past, I used the window of opportunity offered to us, the EU-Canada Summit. A series of meetings and discussions were held ahead in order to reach a mutually satisfactory agreement. I took the plane myself to meet in person the Canadian Immigration Minister, John McCallum, in order to address the real situation at political and not at technocratic level. We had a very constructive discussion with the Minister and we agreed to engage in a political process to address each other's concerns and make the lift of visa obligations for Romania and Bulgaria possible. Indeed, and as I had hinted in my meeting with LIBE, Canada took a positive decision in line with the commitment of McCallum in July. At the summit, Canada announced its decision to lift in late 2017 the visa requirements for all Bulgarian and Romanian citizens. Moreover, certain categories of Bulgarian and Romanian travellers who visited Canada in the past 10 years or who currently possess a valid visa issued by the United States will already become visa-free from May 1st, 2017. We all welcome very much this outcome. It is a strong indication that diplomatic channels and engagement can achieve positive results. On this point, I would like to thank members of the Parliament for their constructive contribution too. We worked in close coordination with Bulgaria and Romania, and they played a central role in addressing Canadian concerns. We have to continue on this path to ensure that full visa waiver is achieved. The Commission will continue to do its part in full cooperation with both Member States. Now, the situation with the United States is different. While I continue discussions with our US partners, most recently at the EU-US JAI ministerial meeting on December 5 in Washington, there is no progress to report. But I want to assure you that we will keep this issue high on the agenda with the new administration and Congress. I will personally immediately engage in contacts with my new counterparts. I call on all of you to give a chance for the political discussion to take place and to explain the mutual obligations, reservations, goals and where to find the solution. It's very important to understand that the role of Congress is crucial. The visa waiver programme cannot be expanded without Congress, particularly if Member States do not meet the thresholds of US legislation. It seems certain that temporarily suspending the visa waiver for US citizens would immediately lead to a visa requirement imposed on all EU citizens. We are aiming for the opposite, not a reciprocal visa requirement, but a reciprocal visa waiver. Let me be very clear. The Commission would not hesitate to adopt the respective acts if that could improve the situation of EU citizens and lead to the visa waiver for all. At the same time, the Commission has a responsibility to inform you, the co-legislators, about negative consequences on the EU and its citizens from the implementation of our rules. And this leads me to your questions. The visa regulation says the Commission shall adopt the delegated act, but there are also other requirements and obligations to be followed which are difficult to reconcile with this obligation and which are equally important. The same regulation says that, I read, the Commission shall take into account the consequences of the suspension of the exemption from the visa requirements for the external relations of the Union and its Member States with the third country in question. The approach we put forward back in April outlined these adverse consequences. We still consider that the negative impacts we identified, which were not questioned by other institutions and stakeholders, should be taken fully into account. If a visa requirement is reintroduced, it will be difficult to explain to millions of EU citizens travelling to the United States every year that the EU serves their interests and that the EU action was appropriate in this case. Would legal arguments be convincing for thousands of EU citizens that would likely lose their jobs due to the expected decrease of US visitors? I very much doubt that. A recent study for the World Travel and Tourism Council suggests that suspending the visa waiver would annually lead to a 22% drop in visitors to the European Union, or 5.5 million fewer visitors from the United States and Canada. This would be equal to a loss of €6.8 billion annually, risking the loss of 140,000 jobs in the tourism industry. The most affected Member States will be Italy, Spain, France, Germany, the Netherlands and Poland. I'm asking you a question. Can we really afford that loss? Dear members of the Parliament, we are in a very unpleasant situation, but determined to work to achieve visa-free for all EU citizens to the United States, as we managed to do with Canada. Let us work together in this effort. Thank you.